We have with us Aryama and Sundaram, senior advocate of the Supreme Court. Subramaniam Swamy, BJP leader. In our studios in Delhi, we have Kamal Mitra Chenoy, who's a member of the Aam Aadmi Party and a professor at JNU. We have Manjinder Singh Sirsa of the Youth Akali Dal Delhi wing. Ajoy Bose and Hartosh, senior journalists. Thank you very much. Let's begin. Now, how is this? How are you going to justify this, Kamal Mitra Chenoy? You know, this is really, you painted yourself in a corner. Now, if you want to do something unconstitutional in terms of the process, how will Arvind Kejriwal go ahead and explain if it is proven that what he was trying to do was basically unconstitutional? Obviously people will not believe him if he says, I have not read the Constitution or I am not aware of the law. Nobody's going to believe him if he says that.
Well, Arnab, you have talked about people knowing the details. It seems you haven't looked at Soli Sorabji's analysis of the situation. And Soli, remember, was Attorney General of the NDA government. So he has no bias against the NDA. And he's one of our foremost lawyers. And he's saying whatever Kejriwal did was correct.
So Mr. Kamal Mitra Chenoy, I can challenge you right here. Right? We can discuss the law, okay? You are a professor of comparative politics and political theory. It may be possible that Arvind Kejriwal is not aware of the Constitution. But I cannot believe that Professor Kamal Mitra Chenoy of JNU is not aware of the law.
No, are you saying Soli Sorabji is not aware of the Constitution?
I'm asking you whether you are aware.
No, I'm telling you. You have talked about details.
No, I'm saying to you.
This is an important detail.
Yes, sir. I'm saying to you. I'm saying this. Sir, I have great regard for Soli Sorabji. Don't keep shooting off his shoulders. I can ask you. Why don't you answer for me? I'd say here today.
No, I'm not a constitutional lawyer.
No, but let's get the facts right. Now, I can point by point. Now, one second. Now, Arvind Kejriwal says in the assembly today, Professor, just allow me, I'll take 10 seconds. Arvind Kejriwal, this is not about you or me. This is about getting the truth out to the people of this country, right? When Arvind Kejriwal is playing this martyr act...
Your channel has made up its mind about the truth.
No, the truth is very clear. See, there is only one version of the truth, Kamal Mitra Chenoy. The fact is this, that...
Well, it depends. You've used one version.
Well, I have a right to question Mr. Kamal Mitra Chenoy. Arvind Kejriwal says that nowhere in the Constitution is it written that the Delhi government needs the permission of the centre to enact the Jan Lokpal bill. Now, my reading of you don't need the permission of the centre, you need to go through a certain process, right? Under the Delhi Act, the NCT Act, the transaction of rules of the NCT Act. I'm sure you're aware of Article 239A of the Constitution. Right? Or should we not look at all that? Should we not look at the Ministry of Home Affairs order of 2002? It's not just nobody's blocking Arvind Kejriwal, you see. He can get the same thing done.
Well,
he can get the same thing done. It may take a little bit more time by taking it through the process. Unless Professor Chenoy, he is timing it to the Lok Sabha election. Unless he wants to do the drama now, so that he's timing it to the Lok Sabha campaign.
No, he had already laid the ground for this.
As you mean to say, he had planned this thing out?
Against Mukesh Ambani.
No, one second.
Yes, and the fact that he got Talihani, he got a former cabinet secretary, a former expenditure secretary, all to be party to the FIR against Mukesh Ambani. And he has said that Mukesh Ambani is an industrialist who dabbles heavily in politics. So he has prepared the ground.
No, but what are we talking about? You're moving from one thing to the other. I'll get Subramaniam Swamy. See, Mr. Chenoy, Mr. Chenoy, my first question to you is this. A Lieutenant Governor has specifically said the bill cannot be introduced, right? Right? So you are completely bulldozing his opinion. I'm not even talking about the Solicitor General. The Lieutenant Governor sends a letter to the Speaker of the Assembly today and says that the bill cannot be introduced, right? Yet Kejriwal goes ahead and he tries to do so. The Lieutenant Governor writes a letter on the 9th of February and then he reiterates his stance in a letter to the Speaker today. It's under Section 9(2) of the government It's under Section 9(2) of the Government of the National Capital Territory of Delhi Act 1991 to which Arvind Kejriwal is sworn. He's sworn. He was sworn in under these rules.
Sworn to the Constitution.
Sir, this is the Constitution. This National Capital Territory Act of 1991 is under the Constitution. It says there is a certain set procedure.
Not valid. According to solely Sorabji.
Sir, I am asking you. You defend it.
You want me to go by the Constitution or times now?
Sir, I am going by the Constitution of this country and I put out a law. You know, Arvind Kejriwal, what he's doing is...
Interpreted by whom?
So I don't know. I mean, this is the law is laid out. You can throw the law. But then why did you take us? Why did you get sworn in under the Constitution?
Dr. Swamy will tell you there are interpretations of the law. He probably has a different interpretation.
This is not.
But you can have more than one interpretation of the law. You know that there are so many constitution debates.
I'm simply telling you that you cannot break the Constitution of India down. You cannot destroy it.
If he has done something unconstitutional, he will be punished. It is a crime to do certain unconstitutional
No.
things.
1 second.
So do you think he walked in?
What he's doing is...
he walked into the Delhi Assembly unprepared?
So I'm saying he's completely putting wrong facts out in public domain, and you know that when there are bills which take money out of the consolidated fund of the capital, it's a money bill. It needs to be pushed in a certain manner. Okay, let's get Subramaniam, Swamy, and Aryama and Sundaram in because it's not between you and me. My point is, anyway, let me put my point of view aside. Subramaniam, Swamy, does Arvind Kejriwal really not know the law? He's given the civil service exam. Does he really not know the Constitution?
Well, he is sworn by the Constitution, so he has to know the law, and he cannot plead ignorance of the Constitution after having taken oath on it. I have the Constitution right here before me.
Yes.
And the wordings are very clear.
Yeah.
And what really matters is not what Mr. Sorabji or the former Chief Justice giving opinions. We see in the legal profession, Sundaram will also confirm this, we get opinions all the time. But ultimately the procedure is the President, the Lieutenant Governor, the Speaker.
Yeah.
That's the protocol, the warrant of protocol. The Lieutenant Governor says you can't do something. He quotes Section 239AA, subpart 3. And subpart B of that, and it very clearly says that anything which is repugnant to a law which is already passed in Parliament cannot be, it will be held void.
Yeah.
That's very clear.
Yeah.
So now here is a Lieutenant Governor who has himself a battery of lawyers to assist him, says that this is illegal, it's unconstitutional. Now the Chief Minister ought to abide by it. Not say, bring in somebody who's outside the system like Mr. Sorabji and say that his opinion is what matters. Okay. That's not how a government functions. This is the typical shoot and scoot policy that they've been following all along.
What we are attempting to do here on Newshour is, okay, fine, shoot and scoot, and he addresses 500 committed people outside his office and they all cheer him on and all that. It's nice, happy television for a moment for Arvind Kejriwal. But the fact is, we need to go into the matter in detail. I'm asking Professor Kamal, Mitra, Chenoy, let me get Aryama and Sundaram in, that now Subramaniam Swamy quotes 239AA of the Constitution. 239AA of the Constitution makes it very clear, which deals with special provisions with respect to Delhi. It says very clearly, Professor Kamal, Mitra, Chenoy, you know this better than me, you actually teach this at JNU, that the Legislative Assembly has the power to make laws for the whole or part of the NCT with respect to any matters enumerated in the state or concurrent list, as far as any such matter is applicable to union territories, except matters with respect to entries 1, 2 and 18 of the state list. Now, let me tell you, Professor, entry 1 relates to public order. Aryama and Sundaram, entry 2 relates to the police. Entry 18 relates to the rights over land. And a simple understanding of this means that the Jan Lokpal bill could potentially come under the ambit of these subjects, which means, Professor Chenoy, it's not like the Jan Lokpal bill does not happen, but you have to take it through the Lieutenant Governor only because it is laid out in the Constitution of India that you have to. So Arvind Kejriwal says, if anybody, he does this whole drama and he says, if anybody says I'm willing to lay down my life for the constitution and all that. You don't have to lay down your life, but you just have to be honest to the people you are speaking to, right?
So now you're accusing him of dishonesty?
No, I am saying today, Professor, see, I'm telling you, Professor.
He's not literate in the Constitution and he's dishonest.
Professor, see, let us not indulge in the game of rhetoric. Let us be very factual on this. I have proven to you right now.
But then what are you doing, Arnab?
I have given you fact, Professor, that section 239AA of the Constitution, there is very implicitly, it makes it very clear that this kind of a law has to go through a certain way, right? So what the worry
Arnab,
is...
there are other sections of the Constitution.
No, 1 second. I'm giving you this...
only 239A.
As far as this is concerned, it's 239AA, and we can also, continue to read it about matters which are...
No, there's more.
No, Professor, let's not talk in the air. The fact is very, very clearly this, that I believe...
No, let me quote some sections of the Constitution.
No, a lot of people believe, Professor, that Arvind knows all this actually. You understand what I'm saying? Arvind Kejriwal knows all this. But he pretends he does not.
If he knew all this, then why do you think he resigned?
No, you mean he did not know all this?
Why did he push the bill if he knew all this?
You mean he did not know? You mean he did not know all this?
No, he knew.
He
knew all this, but not the way you are putting it.
No, but he knew. I'm sorry, but this is escapism. You are going and saying one thing to the people, you're fooling the people. And then you're trying to be a martyr.
No, he's not.
Well, I mean, let's get Aryama and Sundaram.
He said the same thing to the same people and the same thing to other people.
You see one thing. Please understand. I put out a provision of the Constitution, and I'm putting this question out. Does Arvind Kejriwal not know the law of the Constitution? Aryama and Sundaram, is he unaware? Or is he pretending to be unaware to suit his immediate political motives? What would you say to the professor?
Arnab, I don't think there's any doubt. We can argue till the cows come home about interpretations of every article and every sub-article of the Constitution. But I don't think there's any manner of doubt as to what the entire scenario here is. My own disappointment is I saw an idealist who was entering politics, who was going to do a lot for governance. And I'm really seeing a person who's very keen on political aggrandizement. Because let's be very frank. Lawyers can argue, everyone can argue about constitutional provisions, but actually the Aam Aadmi is not aware of the niceties of Article 239AA, etc. What he is being told very simply is that here I'm trying to expose corruption and every which way I am being stopped. Now, it's a form of populism, and it's a form of populism which will perhaps have short-term dividends. I cannot believe that the people of India will not see through it.
But then you're fooling the people, you see.
But surely they can be
But then Aryama and Sundaram, you're fooling the people.
This is a clear
you're fooling the people.
Of course you're fooling the people. Of course you're fooling the people. That's what I said my disappointment was. I saw an idealist who was going to bring me good governance. I didn't see a person who's going to become another shrewd political animal and aim at political aggrandizement, which is exactly what he has done. And today I see a different Arvind Kejriwal from whom I saw 3 months ago.
And does it appear? Does it appear to you?
He's created a storm out of nothing.
No, he created a storm out of nothing over Somnath Bharti. It appears to most people today because
My point is, his only aim is to create a storm. That's the whole point I'm making. His only aim is to create a storm, get people to notice him, and make his own political...
So you see, Hartosh...
Gone is the idealism, gone is the clean governance, gone is making a good working state. All those ideals seem to have taken the back burner.
But everyone's going to read through this. This is political cunning to the extreme. Where you take your political cunning, you add in a healthy dose of ambition to it. So your cunning and ambition on the one side, you pretend you are unaware of the facts, you present yourself as a crusader for the people. I mean, the fact is, it appears today, Hartosh, it would appear that Arvind Kejriwal has made the second attempt to bring himself down. Because he had to do this. The day he was sworn in, he had to do this, and he tried to do it the first time by defending his embarrassment of a minister, Somnath Bharti. When he realized that was not working, he did a deal with the Lieutenant Governor. He did a silent deal with the Lieutenant Governor. He didn't do a deal this time because he wanted to be brought down. He realized somewhere that his promises on power, electricity, slum rehabilitation, promises to the women, you can't deliver in 3 months. So the best thing is to eject and to attempt to seek some form of political martyrdom. Hartosh, what would you say to Kamal, Mitra and Chenoy?
Look, Arnab, it's getting very, very difficult to speak to people who are committed to the Aam Aadmi Party. Those of us outside this movement who were sympathetic to the movement find that people are now so emotionally invested in this Aam Aadmi Party business that if you tell them dispassionately things are going wrong, what you're doing does not hold up to what you started with, this is just a political tamasha aimed at short-term returns, as Aryaman Sundaram said. Suddenly you're told you're Mukesh Ambani's, you've sold out to Mukesh Ambani. I mean, I would love to see a case against Mukesh Ambani proceed to its eventual conclusion. But that doesn't mean that I like what the Aam Aadmi Party is doing right now. And that is why they are not getting the message.
Professor, it worries you today. What about all the other promises you made to the people? Regularization of unauthorized colonies, rehabilitation of people living in slums, contract labor, setting up courts to ensure speedy justice. What happens to all that today? Simply on one issue on which you are factually incorrect, you step down and resign. You think you played the brinkmanship card too far, Professor Chenoy here. You think it's going to rebound on you?
No, I think there are two. No. There are 2 points to be made. Number one, there's a limit to how much can be done in 48 days.
One second.
In that, promises made about water tariffs and electricity tariffs were carried out.
No, explain that limit to how much can be done in 48 days. Why were you promising you would make a change in 90 days then?
The promise was 30 days.
Yes, what you're saying, Arvind Sundaram, what you're saying to Professor Chenoy?
I thought the promise was 30 days, not 48 days.
Absolutely.
And we all knew it was an absurd promise, but it was a promise, again, a great political stunt.
But the water and electricity
you
was
divert
done.
the attention into something
that's
else,
all right, sir.
and then create havoc somewhere else.
No,
and then
but
play the martyr.
Number one.
Cunning. Great political cunning.
Let's leave the 48 days because it was done within 30 days, but it's 48 days of his term when he resigned. Second point I want to make is the point about idealism and political theatre. Arvind Kejriwal was trying to do a new kind of politics. He might have made some mistakes, but on crucial issues, including Somnath Bharti, where a judicial inquiry has been ordered by the Lieutenant Governor, he knew what he was doing.
Sanjay,
and the reason
there are 10,000 people.
The Lokpal bill was because he wanted another bill, the Swaraj bill to
Sir, nobody is against the Lokpal bill. Why don't you understand? It's not against the Lokpal bill. It's the manner in which you want to stamp over the constitution and push it in a certain manner. Mr. Sirsa raises his hand out there. It's nobody. Nobody's against the Jan Lokpal bill. There is already a Lokpal bill which is fairly tough, which has been pushed through at the center. Now the Jan Lokpal bill...
Come on, Arnab, you can't be serious. Fairly tough, the earlier bill.
That's your matter of... The Jan Lokpal bill, nobody is against it. They're only saying take it through the LG. You did a deal with the LG to save Somnath Bharti.